Broadcasting to you on WNN 1470 AM and TrentoVision.tv from the world's leading think tank laboratory, buried deep in an undisclosed building in hostile territory where evil and corruption is exposed. You're about to enter the Tom Trento Show.
All in mega battle thing.
Tom Trento heads United West, a group that says it defends Western civilization against the onslaught of Islam.
Hey, hello everybody. How you doing back there somewhere? You can't see me, but I can't see you either. We got something new going on here, but you can hear me better now, huh?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Sounding
I can't
mighty
see.
radio.
So this is. I got a radio set up here. I got a face for radio, right?
Yep.
Hi everybody. Yes, we have our mic situation changed around because we are going to take 2014 by storm. It's going to be a big storm in 2014. It's
a perfect storm.
A perfect storm. It is the what is it? The 12th or 13th?
It's the 13th.
Friday the 13th, man.
Get out of here.
It's Friday the 13th.
This is a spooky day where like people get hurt and things go
and-
wrong and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
What are we doing here with electronics all around us?
I know. All these magical, because you know what today is? It is...
Jumpin Jum'ah
Freaky Friday.
But not really.
Yes, it is.
It's Jumpin'. Oh, there it is. We needed that. It's Jumpin Jum'ah Freaky Friggatriskaidekaphobia Friday.
Trexophobia.
In case anybody
Trexophobia.
wonders what Tom does early
No, let me hear
in
you
the
say
morning.
it. Let's hear if Mark could say it.
Trexophobia.
No, not Trexophobia.
That's the fear number 13.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, that's strike one.
Trexophobia.
Go ahead, Damon.
Friggatriskaidekaphobia.
Strike two. Go ahead, you try it.
Friggatriskaidekaphobia.
What
Go
is
ahead,
the
CJ.
What's the Frigga for?
I actually wrote it down for you.
Yes, you did.
Try to
But
pronounce
what is
it.
the Frigga for?
Friday.
Try to pronounce it.
Okay, Frigga.
Okay.
Friggatriskaidekaphobia.
Okay.
Trexkaidekaphobia. That's
Okay, I will.
Triskaidekaphobia.
Let me-
Trexkaidekaphobia.
Let me-
Triskaidekaphobia.
I have an amazing capability of taking the cookies from the upper shelf and lowering them for those of you who have difficulty.
Only because he researched before we did.
No. I have a pedagogical lesson.
Oh,
here.
another big word.
Oh, another polysyllabic word for us.
Okay, here we go.
Monosyllabic.
I'm going to teach you how to say this day
Frigga.
in 30 seconds. What's that right there?
That's Frigga.
What does Frigga mean?
Friday.
Oh, you friggin' kidding me, Trento?
It's the name of a Norse goddess.
God, Norse god. Frigga means Friday in Norse talk.
Okay.
Now, why are we using Norse talk? You got me, but the Norse use Frigga.
Frigga.
And this.
Oh, that would be for Holly Schmidt, I believe.
Yeah,
That's
our
why
Viking
we're doing
goddess.
Norse.
All right, so we got Frigga. Then we got this word. What does this mean right here?
3.
13.
It means snack cracker.
Triska. Try.
Okay.
The Trisket.
Trisket.
3. All right, CJ, you hold the. No, wait.
Wasn't Triska 13?
3. No.
No.
Hang on.
Triska Dexa. Oh, the deck.
What does deca mean?
10. Okay.
Decade.
Deca, decade. 10. And then
Phobia.
Fear.
fear. So we're working it out for you radio people, but you really need to be watching this because it is just amazing television right now. Decaphobia. Okay, CJ, you hold these two.
And I'll put it wide.
And I'll hold these two. There it is, ladies. Hold it up a little more. There it
The
is.
Frigatriskaidekaphobia.
You got it.
Yes.
Look at that.
Oh,
Friday.
wait a
of
minute.
this.
You
We got
left
back-
an I out.
But why is
Well,
the
it's
deca
okay.
behind
K-A-I.
That's okay.
Why isn't the deca behind? Should it be Frigatriskaidekaphobia?
It should be, I would think, or maybe there's a word for 13
Okay, well,
like we
frig
have.
this.
But it's Friggatriskaidekaphobia.
Okay.
That's the real name, okay?
All right.
Now, we will, for $1 million, CJ and I will autograph this. For $2 million, we'll have everybody autograph it. And we will
That's right.
send it to you for a $2 million donation.
That's right. There you go.
Where else can you see this kind of
Wiki, that quality.
Or you could lop 2 zeros off of that number and we'll still do the above.
Like $20. We'll
Or
come
you
and
can give us
cook
a
dinner
box of
for you.
Triscuits and we'll
right.
sign it for you.
For $20, we'll come and cook dinner for you. Okay.
That's not true.
I don't know. Not much over 20. Hi, everybody. Tom Trento here on Friggatriskaidekaphobia Day, Friday the 13th. I fear nothing. I don't fear this day. Though it's nice when you go to sleep at night and nothing happened. I used to race cars, and my automobile was number 13. I really liked one of the cars.
You did.
And all the drivers
That was
would go,
Dan.
don't ever do that.
That was Dan Marino's number 2.
Number 13. What do you think of these hotels where you go to the 13th floor?
Oh, you can't.
12.
Oh, apartment buildings also.
Yeah, I lived in an apartment building in
Yeah.
North Miami Beach that was like that. No, 13.
I mean, so what happens? How does the world come to a point where you think a number actually can scare you and make you die or do whatever? I mean, how does that work?
I don't know. Maybe it's the same fear that doesn't allow you to push the elevator button on a Friday because your finger might blow up and God might punish you. Maybe that's the same
On a
type of fear.
Mark's still complaining about the Shabbat elevators
complaining
in
about-
Israel.
I mean,
He's
that's the most
complaining about
ridiculous
that.
thing I've ever heard.
All that and no pork chops. Oh, man.
We were in
elevator, no bacon.
in Jerusalem. We couldn't get to the right floor because the elevators went by themselves, and so Mark didn't like that. But it was kind of weird.
Well, what floor were you
When
on?
in Rome,
What floor were you guys
Eat the
on?
Romans.
11. I think we were on 11.
11.
Okay, so
We're
why
on
didn't you
13.
just take the
We're
stairs?
on floor 13.
Why didn't you just take the stairs?
We managed.
Now you know why I'm
when in
complaining.
Rome. All right, well, it's the end of the week. We've had a phenomenal week here at the United West, TrentoVision. We're broadcast, as you know, on WNN 1470.
And we do love WNN and hello and
We do. Love
Hello,
to
WNN.
everybody
Right,
at
right,
And
WNN.
we have to go there. And
Yeah, I think we do. We have
and
to go to the
bury-
woodshed.
bearing gifts. We need to go there bearing gifts for Christmas. We got to do one of our little
Yes.
our little parties or a little something. We'll do that for the folks down there, and for you out there. Our gift every day to you is the
Is
wit
Tom.
and wisdom, the wit and
And
wisdom
Mark.
of this team.
And Damon.
Oh, dreidel,
Dreidel,
stay
dreidel.
in the cradle or whatever.
I got my Christmas gift.
Abdullah,
Yes, my friend.
Are you frightened of number 13?
No, I am not frightened of 13.
Why
No,
not?
there's only 12 imams. What about the 13th imam?
Yeah.
There is no 13th man. Why do you make fun? I do not understand it. As I come right here, I rush here from the mosque, and I come here and I take the abuse from you. Please.
Let me ask you
Yes.
something, because right now, as we are on the air here at 3 o'clock
Ish.
on a Friday afternoon-ish, on a Friday afternoon in Boca Raton, Florida, broadcasting, but going all
Yes.
over the place, going around the world on the internet.
Yes.
There's a group of your buddies, Imam, a group of Muslims, Muslim Political Action Committee, MPAC? No, Public Affairs Committee.
Muslim public
Oh,
affairs.
Muslim
very
Public
good
Affairs
people.
Committee. They are based in Los Angeles.
Segway alert.
They're based in Los Angeles.
You like those people, do you?
I love them.
And they are having a press conference. They actually had a press conference a little earlier this morning.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Very proud.
And they came out with a declaration against extremism that is against extremism.
Well, I am quite sure when they say extremism, they have a little bit of different definition than you are probably used to in extremism. And also, just like the country of Jordan, let me give you a very good example. Country of Jordan say it is not terrorism if you commit violent act against Israel. Just like here we say, yes, we're against extremism, but it depends what you define as extremism.
So killing Jews is okay. That's not extreme.
Correct. This
Okay.
is a form of taqiyya, and I'm sure you are very aware of what the term taqiyya means.
All right, we're gonna get into that a little bit from MPAC, and also along the lines of national security, which we do here on the show.
And what we try to destroy.
The OIC. You familiar with the OIC? CJ. You got a C
Just a
and a
little
C and a
bit.
J. Yeah. Organization for Islamic.
Cooperation.
No, conference.
no,
I'm
cooperation
jumping
now.
That's
It's
right.
cooperation
I always
now.
get it backwards. I always get it backwards.
Organization for Islamic Conjunctivitis. That's what it is.
Organization for Islamic Control.
Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They came out. It is Islamophobia season.
Tis the season
To
for
be
Islamophobia because,
tis
well,
the
first we
season for
started with CARE, right?
Yes.
We had CARE's big report about a month and a half ago, and that was what, like 170 pages
Yeah,
or
about
something
that.
like that.
Right.
And now MPAC has their report,
Little thing.
and now the OIC has their Islamophobia report.
Right.
And
Well, I got a question. This
does anybody read these?
wasn't MPAC formed by one of the Hattup brothers?
Yes.
Maher and the Hattup, was it, or is it the other guy? I always get them backwards.
Mayor and
And what's it, the other disciple of Hassan al-Banna, direct disciple of Hassan al-Banna?
Hathout. Hathout.
Yep. But they were direct learners from actual
Hassan al-Banna.
Hassan al-Banna, the founder of the Muslim Brotherhood, who wants to drive Jews in the sea, and they actually they were chased like rats out of Egypt during one period and fled over here in the 1950s and formed MPAC. Is that correct?
Yes, we're going to get to them in a little bit, and one of them is near death, and today he is being honored, today and tomorrow. So we'll touch base on him, and we've been in his mosque.
Islamic
But
Center,
before we get to
California.
that, here's a test for you, Mark. I'm
Triska?
going to give you one of the four syllables. What's the word for today?
Triska.
No. What's the whole word, the name of today?
Oh, Friggatriskaidekaphobia.
All right. Okay, I'm going to test you guys
right.
throughout the morning and the afternoon because this is an afternoon television radio show. So we're going to get back to that. We got Ahmed Bedier back on the radar. Him and Sami, al-Arian. We're really going.
Well, we're just-
oldies but goodies, man.
But not oldies anymore.
No, these guys are coming out.
They're
Everything
back.
old is new again.
It's like fashion. It comes around and it goes around.
It's like when your president is a Muslim Brotherhood sympathizer, the Muslim Brothers sympathetically show up all over the place. So, but you know what happened 10 years ago today? Anybody know what happened 10 years ago today?
I know just because you kind of gave it to us earlier.
So sad.
So sad.
10
What?
years
What
ago
happened
today.
10 years ago?
Do we have any pictures?
Do we have a picture?
Oh, we're not going to show the
didn't.
picture, are we?
Well,
Take
go
a
ahead and
guess.
fill them in. So our graphics team can pull it up.
10 years ago.
I'm looking, I'm trying here.
10 years ago today, here's what happened. Don't put it up until I tell you.
Okay.
10 years ago today, we had an intelligence team looking for a particular guy somewhere.
Oh, that's right.
And
I forgot about that.
and what they did was this, because I heard this, I followed this stuff pretty closely, and I hadn't heard this before. But the intelligence team set to go after this person. When you're in the military or intelligence, you live, breathe, and think that individual. You try to think like that person, and then you go to the outlying areas. You think like his wife or his sister or brother or son
Exactly.
or whatever. And they determine that this particular individual loves to eat
What?
Olives?
Olives?
fish.
Fish.
This
Okay.
particular individual loves to eat fish. And he had just a compulsion to eat fish regularly every day.
And especially on Friday.
Yes,
Especially.
especially on Friday. Triskaidekaphobia. Friggatriskaidekaphobia Friday. Jumpin Jum'ah Friggatriskaidekaphobia Friday.
You're
So
gonna
they said,
sprain your tongue if you're not careful.
so they said if he likes to eat fish, he's got to get the fish from someplace.
Right.
So they start looking at relatives, and they start spotting relatives stocking a pond with fish.
Right.
And then they go, okay. And they watch, and it was an inordinate way in which they were stocking the pond. So one of the special operating teams went in, raided the fish pond. They raided the fish pond and rounded up all the people stocking the fish, and then started, I guess you could say, enhanced interrogations. And the enhanced interrogation led to a particular individual who was one of the bodyguards of our person, what we're speaking about today.
Right.
And a little pressure was put on the bodyguard, and the bodyguard said, okay, in the midst of one of the interrogations, he said, let's go right now. Let's just go. Let's go. So they got a Delta Force special operations team together, and the bodyguard led the special operations team, who took direction from the intelligence team, who fished out this guy, and went right to this.
And see if you can guess it on this picture. It's a tough picture to guess it on.
Okay, let's see.
See if you can guess who that guy is.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh.
They fished him out. That's when they pulled him out right after the thing.
Everybody in their cars going, "Who is it? Who is it? Who is it?" There it is. Who is it, CJ?
It's Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein. Do you believe 10 years ago today he was caught, he was captured in that rat hole? What do they call it?
It was a
Well,
rat
Spider
hole.
hole.
Schmidt hole. It was a Schmidt hole.
Schmidt hole, yeah.
You got it right there.
Yeah.
Let's pull it up on your monitor.
10 years ago. I remember sitting there. It was Paul Bremer. Remember, he comes out, he was holding those press conferences. He was sort of the attaché ambassador to Iraq, or actually the guy put in charge of Iraq. And he said, "Ladies and gentlemen," remember what he said? Where were you guys? "Ladies and gentlemen,
We're busy.
we
doing
got
that.
him." He screams out, "We got him!" He goes like that, and everybody started clapping. And you know what happened to poor Saddam Hussein?
Well,
He died.
He died.
he fared better than Muammar Gaddafi did.
Yes, he did.
He got a trial. He did get a trial.
He was hung.
That's
right?
because we were in charge of that, right?
And remember, not really. We were.
Well,
we
yeah,
weren't.
we were overseeing that.
Remember when they hung him?
Yeah.
It was like just a bunch of guys in a room, and they had him on a floor that collapsed and hung him, and somebody.
Oh, he was once young and handsome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we sit here today, 10 years later, and we say the world is a better place without Saddam Hussein.
But Iraq is not.
But then you think about it, and we've learned a big lesson that Islam is incompatible with any sort of civilized governance. Simply because you have these internal battles between Muslims where they just will kill each other for eternity, which is what's going on there now. And it seems like to quell down all that killing and destruction, you need a strong man.
Well, it goes back to our theory we've been saying forever, is either you have a theocratic regime takeover or a brutal dictatorial thug. I mean, you had Mubarak in Israel, not as bad as Saddam Hussein by any stretch of the
I
imagination.
don't think Mubarak was in Egypt, but yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Mubarak in Egypt had to rule over Egypt with an iron fist to kill the Muslim Brotherhood, similar to the way Saddam Hussein did. And he was just Saddam Hussein hated the Brotherhood. He killed him at every stretch, every turn he got. He hated it. But then towards the end,
we got bombed out cars on our monitor here. Now, what is that bombed out car all about?
Well, it says Iraq is still bleeding 10 years after Saddam Hussein's capture.
Right.
Friday's anniversary of the dictator's arrest sees the country struggling with a resurgent Al-Qaeda and a death rate double that of a decade ago. Takbir! Takbir!
well,
So what's the lessons? What lessons can we draw
Well, now-
for our viewers and our listeners?
well, when you allow the state to run the country, when you allow the church to run this state, like happening over in Iraq, where you do not have a separation of church and state, where you do not have that distinction between the two forms, the theocratic rule takes over and becomes, oppressive and dictatorial.
I don't know if that's what's going on. I think Iran is in control of Iraq.
Well, hold on. They're
And I
also
don't- I don't
they're also
think-
Well, let me hear CJ.
They're also in control of eastern Iraq too. I mean, yes.
What are your thoughts, CJ?
Well,
The lessons from
think,
Iraq.
I think what we see in Iraq is that there really is nobody in charge.
Well, there's a bunch of little mullahs in charge.
Well, al-Maliki is the president. He's a Shia.
Right. Who has absolutely no control over what happens in towns, villages, or cities.
The country's
At all.
divided basically almost into the three sections.
It's divided into several sections,
But we knew,
and without the American presence there,
which it's not basically.
there is no
Right.
American presence there.
And that's
All
what's going to
the-
happen in Afghanistan.
All the tribalism and the sectarianism and everything
Islam, all the
has
Islam.
returned to Iraq in our absence, and these people are just killing each other on a daily basis. They had the highest death toll of any other country during Ramadan, I think.
It's almost like you take an elastic band where you stretch it, and once you and what we've been doing to these countries is there you go. We've been stretching these countries toward a democratic understanding of life and reality. But if our theory is true on this show, if our theory is true in Sharia, the threat to America, our theory is true in all our analysis all these years, that the Islamic scholars know Islam better than us. Did you know that that's our theory? That
Our theory is that Islamic scholars understand Islam better than we do.
better than we do.
And isn't that as it should be?
I would think so. If our theory is accurate, that they know their religion better than us, and they tell us in their authoritative doctrines, in their hadith, in their sunnah, in their Quran, in their 1,400 years of history, in their behavior, in their practice, if they tell us that Western democracy is incompatible with doctrinaire Islam, if they say that, what right do we have to say, oh, you're mistaken, your religion really is very compatible with Western democracy? What right do we have to say that?
Well, I think it's just foolishness on our part. I think that was, the biggest mistake and the hugest failure of George W. Bush was to perpetuate that worldview on everybody after 9/11. And what happens is in these Arab and Muslim countries is you have these diplomats, these politicians, these businessmen who want Western money and investment into their own infrastructure so that they can maintain themselves in a lifestyle. They put on the Western suit. They regurgitate the garbage that they learned at the LSE and Oxford and Harvard and whatever right back at us.
Yep.
And we say,
Oh,
they're
he's a
just like
Westerner.
us.
Yeah.
Well,
They're just
here's-
like us. And everybody over there where they live, they want to be just the same as this guy. And
Well,
of course, that's nonsense.
Well, here's the parallel. Here's the true parallel. What if after World War II, over in Japan, we came over there and we said, we're not going to put MacArthur over there. We're not going to institute Western. We're going to remove all our troops. We'll have like a few contingencies there just to stop the violence, but we're still going to keep the emperor the way it was, and we're still going to keep the Shinto philosophy and the whole dying in the name of the emperor. We're going to keep that same philosophy in place because
We don't want to mess up your
we
religion.
don't mess up your religion. We don't want to mess up your religion or your ideological beliefs.
Just tried to take over the world and kill everybody.
That's right.
We don't want to mess that up.
We don't
for
mess
you.
that up.
Yeah, but we want to respect where you're coming from.
Or let's say we go to Germany and say, okay, over in Germany, you know what?
You got a little bit out of control.
But you can still keep your Nazi
but we
party.
respect
We
you.
respect, even though it's not a religion, but we respect your political philosophy, your political ideology. What's different between that and Iraq? They went in there in that exact same way and said, no, you keep your religion, you keep your warlord mentality going, you keep your world domination religion going. It's frustrating beyond belief.
Did you see this morning Kelly Ripka's abs?
No, I
Her
wish I
stomach?
had.
You didn't see it? Did you see Kelly Ripka's abs? Damon, see if you can pull up Kelly Ripka's abs.
Rippa.
Rippa, whatever. her name
Kelly
is.
Ripa.
Kelly Ripa's Kelly's ripped abs. If you can find that, it's been all over the news. She was.
Yeah, Mark's. I'll do it.
I'll find that one for you, Tom.
That one. You keep going on your Sunni Shia thing.
Somebody get me a picture of Saddam Hussein's underwear, please. We want to show that.
Damon, get on that.
I have 8 Saddam pictures, and he's on Kelly Ripa. Like
White on rice.
But
man.
what does this have to do with...
He's getting there. Just give him
You
time.
should know me better than that. CJ.
I know, I should.
Okay.
If you got the picture,
I got
she's
it.
standing on her head, and she tweeted this out.
that one.
And she tweeted it out. She's on her head. Her abs are all ripped out, and she's got a quote. It's the quote that is a salient point for what we're discussing right
Oh,
now.
I see.
I'm
You're
dead-
not
I'm-
looking at it for the pictures. It's the content.
No. The pictures are irrelevant.
Well, I'm dutifully scanning the pictures, Tom.
Do you have the quote? The quote's the money shot here. And
I'm looking for it, Tom.
I can paraphrase it, but I'll paraphrase it for the sake of moving on. And she's standing on her head, and her stomach's ripped, and everybody's going nuts over how great shape she's in. And the quote, though, that she sent out, she tweeted out.
What's the quote? Because I can find it now.
It says something, if it's wrong or right, it doesn't matter. Just do what you want, right? And on Good Morning America, they were tripping over themselves in the wonder of her wisdom. Oh, look at this woman. You know, she's so right that no matter if you think it's wrong or if it's right, you just do what you want, and it's right for you, right? And it's this is the postmodern mindset that has permeated into our universities, gone into our diplomatic corps, and is now guiding our national security doctrine that we live in a relativistic world and that every religion and every government and every leader is morally equivalent to every other leader, and except for
Unless it happens to be Jews in Israel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In which case there is no
they're
equivalency.
horrible, right? And therefore, when we come to these banana republics or these just ratbag Muslim countries, we have to respect everything they do, give them respect. You got the quote? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's what the United Nations is all about. That's what happened when the
But
United.
we didn't do that in World War II. We said
No, we did that
we
right
said the
after
Shinto
World.
view is evil.
We
Nazism
did
is
that
evil.
after
Right.
World War II.
All right, watch this. If we can get this up there.
Yeah, I got it.
Because I didn't quote it exactly right, but I made it actually clearer than it actually is, and
There it is.
There it is. Now there, see her abs, CJ.
Right.
Right.
Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.
What do you
What
think?
does that mean?
Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. What the hell does that mean?
Well, that means something different to me than what
whether
you just described.
Whether I think I can go in and steal the food because my family needs it, or whether I think I can't, it doesn't matter. I'm right if I do it. There's a total,
Well, I guess we don't need jails
no,
anymore. We can let
that's
all the
not-
criminals out of jail
That's
then.
not how I read it. It's like if you tell yourself, oh my gosh, I can't figure out how to do this math problem.
Right.
Well, if you tell yourself that, then you're right. You won't be able to figure out how to do the math problem. But if you tell yourself, I can figure out how to do this math problem, then you will be able to figure out how to do the math problem.
don't
I
see
think that's the kind of thing she's talking about.
Well, that's just a stupid way to say it.
I see a moral equivalent in our postmodern age of there is no moral superiority anymore. There is no ideological superiority. We're all in one big happy family, and we all need to get along. Now, I bought into this a little bit when George Bush went into
Kumbaya, my
Iraq.
lord.
I bought into early on the fact that there is a spark somewhere in every human being for democracy, for freedom, for equality, for human rights, for all of that.
Yeah, I remember those purple fingers.
Yeah. I bought into that a little bit,
Yeah.
and I do still think philosophically that exists, but the cultures they live in,
Right.
and the leadership that's there so suppresses it basically snuffs it out, and
Okay.
the only way to revive that little spark is to get them out of that mess,
Right.
get them somewhere else.
You have to fish them out of that filthy pond.
Yeah, exactly.
That they're swimming in.
Which is the beauty of coming to America, but then they come here and they go, oh, I'm bringing Islam with me. I'm bringing whatever the ideology is. That's where the problem is. So what does it mean? No more nation building. That's what it means. It
Yeah.
means we live for security, not for peace anymore. If you have security and people fear you, there's going to be peace, particularly from the bad people. If our friends don't really fear us, they shouldn't fear us.
Well, our
We're not gonna hurt
friends
them.
do fear us,
That's the
and our
problem.
enemies don't.
That's the
It's
problem,
true.
exactly. So that's the lesson from Saddam Hussein. 10 years. May he not rest in peace.
Yeah.
He-
Well, yeah. One little thing I do want to say about Saddam Hussein. He wasn't a Muslim Brotherhood type of person. He actually did keep them down, and that's that was his only saving grace, if you will, even though he was an evil, despotic
He was a
creature.
Ba'athist. He was a political dictator.
He
is
was
what
he was in essence he got his training from his uncle, who trained under Hitler, and he brought those same type of Hitlerian thugs into his regime. Is what in essence
You
happened.
think he ate pork chops?
He might have. I don't know.
I think so.
I think he ate lobster tails. That's for damn
I think
sure.
So, yeah. He lived
Anyway,
high
move
on
on.
the
Move
hog.
on. Sorry to interrupt.
High on the hog.
High end hog.
Also, one last thing. This whole leftist meme about there was no weapons of mass destruction. That's
Oh yeah,
completely-
that's
I mean,
Yeah, of course.
30,000.
They went to Syria. Now they're going back from Syria to Iraq. Hey!
What's up with
No,
this?
no. You guys got that wrong. Putin already figured that
Figured
out.
that out, yes.
And he's taking care of it for the world, except
Yeah.
for that we're actually going to be the ones doing the work, although we will not be allowed to do the monitoring.
Unbelievable. 30 minutes after
Right.
3 o'clock on Jumpin Jum'ah
Freaky Friday!
Jumpin Jum'ah Freaky Friggatriskaidekaphobia Friday. All right? Let's try it.
I kill you if you say it
All right,
again.
let's try it, class.
No.
Jumpin
No,
Jum'ah
we're revolting.
Let's try that elastic band going.
Friggatriskaidekaphobia. Get it in your head.
Jumpin' Jum'ah
Friggatriskaid-
All right, we're done.
I want to hear Abdullah say Friggatriskaidekaphobia.
You will not hear that, my friend.
Frigga.
There will be no attempts.
We're revolting. We're mutiny.
Okay.
Mutiny.
Mutiny on the bounty. Mutiny on the Frigga bounty.
Mutiny on the Frigga
Well, it's the end of the week. We've had a phenomenal week. Couple of highlights. Alan Schlesinger was a highlight of our week.
Yeah, he
I
was.
thought.
Good guy.
You weren't here.
I
sat in your
wasn't,
seat.
but you sure did some good drawings based on the
Yes.
information that you learned from him. Do
That's
you have
right.
that?
You did. You did.
The other
Oh, you
drawings?
did.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Oh, the
You
What?
gave a very
What,
good
what?
little economics
Oh,
lesson.
his economic drawings. That's right.
10
Yeah.
people at $100.
Yeah. If you go to youtube.com/The United West, that is the show from
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday?
Actually,
show
no,
or
that I
Monday
believe
show?
was Wednesday's
I know,
show,
did he?
that drawing, but Alan was on Tuesday.
Did YouTube ban us on that one for putting up the Colbert report or something stupid like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're back on
the
because
show's
it's
back
actually his video.
But Alan Schlesinger is running in District 18 up
Right.
north of West Palm, from West Palm Beach north of
Southern
14th.
Boulevard North.
And that's the district that Alan West was running for. That's a very important district, folks, for everyone in the country, really, particularly Florida. And we gave a standing offer for any candidate running for that office to come on the show. We'll talk to him.
Democrats included, please.
Yeah, and for Patrick Murphy, who is the standing congressman, District 18, defeated Alan in a crazy election. He's more than welcome to come on the show and
And why would he want to?
and live here for 20 years. Why would he want to?
Yeah.
There's no upside for him. There's zero upside for Patrick Murphy coming here other
Right.
than self-respect and to say, I climbed Mount Everest. I wrestled a bear.
He said to
I went on
himself,
that
I
show.
think I can do
I
it.
went on
And
that
I
show.
was right.
And I was right.
Tom, I do not mean to be rude when you ask me to give your silly talk, but I was busy on the internet doing your Christmas shopping.
That's right.
Ah, yes, I just purchased your
captured.
Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Would
Yes,
you
I
like
did.
to see?
Yes.
Is it a halal Cadbury
I'll
bar?
get you your Christmas present.
There it is. It's a Shia
Nice.
pet.
It's a Shia. Oh, a Shia. Oh, that is pretty good. We have on the screen, folks, you driving in your car, 34 minutes after 3 o'clock
Very
on
thoughtful.
Jumpin' Jum'ah Freaky Friday, we have a Shia pet. And it's actually, who's that guy in there?
That is
familiar.
the former president of Iran,
Ahmadinejad.
Ahmadinejad, the filthy, heretic, honor-white scum.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, that's
could
from
you
a
have
Sunni.
Could you have a Muhammad pet? I mean, could you like picture image of Muhammad?
No, could you continue to walk around if I lopped your head off?
The Shia pet looked pretty good. What are they? Chia pets, right?
Yeah, Chia pets.
Where the grass grows well. We have a Shia pet with Ahmadinejad. You can grow fur, green fur all over his face. And
They said you will have by
Green
Christmas.
being the color of Islam.
I like it.
He,
Yes,
he
yes.
Federal Expressed it for you. They should get that by camel.
But the
maybe.
problem with that, once you start moving in that direction, you grow them big beards out. you are becoming to look like an extremist. When you have a full Sharia beard,
extremist.
usually, at least the world's intelligence agencies would say, if we see a Muslim with an untrimmed full beard, they're usually leaning toward the extremism side. And we know today, Islamic extremism has come to a halt worldwide,
Yes, it has.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it most certainly has. That is so stupid.
Let me say it again for everybody driving in your car and everybody listening worldwide. Islamic extremism, which we call Muslim jihad.
Which we call Islam.
Which we call Islam.
Islam.
Islamic extremism, as of 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, has come to a halt in the world. Why so, folks?
Because MPAC says so.
Declaration Against Extremism by Dr. Maher Hattout. The authority. He's such,
Did you say you have a...
What took place that was so definitive and so earth-shattering and so watershedish?
That MPAC has declared that they are against extremism.
Oh, my word.
So, it must be over. This is silly.
Muslim Public Affairs. Could you pull up the website for Muslim Public Affairs
Do you know
Council?
what? It's too funny.
It is so funny.
It's too funny.
I'm going to read the mission statement for Muslim Public Affairs Council. Now, folks, we're not talking about some too big group of, camel jockeys out in the desert somewhere. These folks have they don't even need their retinas scanned to get in the White House anymore. They just drive up and the doors automatically open. And the people from the Muslim Public Affairs Council, Al-Mariyati, president, and others just have audiences whenever they want with the President of the United States of America. And since their inception in 1986, MPAC has worked diligently to foster a vibrant Muslim American identity and represent the interests of Muslim Americans to decision makers in government agencies, media outlets, interfaith circles, and Hollywood studios.
And Hollywood.
And if you read the memorandum of 1991 and the project of 1983, you will see targeted by the Muslim Brotherhood the exact institutions, government, media, interfaith, Hollywood, the exact institutions that in 1986 MPAC was organized to influence. So what do we have going on here?
An
folks?
influence operation.
Nice.
an influence operation. Yeah.
And Mayor Hattout, the guy who is in charge of this, actually he's not in charge of it now, but he's the titular head.
Watch your language.
Well, he's the author of the Declaration Against Extremism.
He's got, I think, fatal cancer is growing. I know he has cancer. And he is one of the colleagues of Hassan al-Banna from the 1920s. Mayor and his brother came to California in the 80s and formed the Islamic Center of Southern California. Remember when we did the thing with Deputy Chief Michael Downing, confronted him about the Muslim Brotherhood? We were in the mosque. That's the mosque that he started. Is this him speaking right now?
No, that's just the a JPEG of him.
Okay. Well, Mayor Hattout was a very big supporter of one of our other stories today, Sami al-Arian. And if those of you in our audience remember that name from the 2004, 5, 6, and 7s, Sami al-Arian was a professor where was it?
Jihad U.
Oh, didn't you go there, CJ?
Yep.
What school is Jihad U? Mark, you went there too.
Yes.
What is it?
The University of Southern Florida.
South Florida.
South Florida.
South Florida. Did I say Southern Florida? South Florida. Yes, UCF Bulls.
USF.
Bulls. God, what is wrong with you today? USF Bulls, yes.
You want to give us the...
I don't know. The picture I have up there just threw me for a second.
What is the University of South Florida? What is their who is their mascot?
Bulls.
Oh, it is
Brahmin
the
Bull.
Bulls.
The
Oh,
Bulls.
Brahmin Bull.
The
Okay,
Bulls.
Yeah.
The Bulls.
okay.
The Bull.
Was that a camel?
No. It should be.
It should be
It
for
should
the
be now, yeah.
for the
Should be
Jihad
now.
University.
UCF, I don't know, UCF doesn't like to give up that title as Jihad U so easily.
I know.
Well, it started
They
the titles.
fighting words if you're UCF, MSA, or SJP,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
they have there. They're not going to give
Also,
that title up
you
so
No,
quick.
USF broke the ground on it.
Yeah, they're the groundbreakers on
I
it.
Well,
gotta-
Yeah.
they boast Sammy, so Sammy would be Sammy
Yeah,
You
is
can't
like
throw out,
having.
now, hold on. Time out. You can't throw out University of North Florida either.
No, that's in the running.
got there
USF
with-
was hosting the PLO like in the late 70s and early 80s. They really were groundbreakers.
Pulling the
Yes.
lead.
This
They're
would
pulling
be
the
like
lead.
a great game show. Like, you know how Jeopardy has the colleges? We could have like the Florida Jihad U. You could have
I
North
don't
Florida
know.
versus Central Florida
University-
versus South Florida.
University of North Florida has the former chairman of the board of CARE as its financial.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, hey, you know.
Yeah, but
that's-
Sammy got sent to the pokey.
yeah.
Well, he never made it into the pokey. That's the problem. Dr. Sami al-Arian,
Al-Arian, right.
professor
We do have a video.
at University of South Florida. He got busted. We're going to play this in a second. This is amazing. He got busted in 2004 for his involvement with a fun little organization by the name of
Hamas.
Palestinian Islamic
Islamic
Jihad.
Palestinian
Yeah.
Islamic Jihad.
Yeah.
Which funded Hamas.
Yeah. But
Which is just a sweet little group on a
Right.
journey of self-discovery.
With bombs.
I mean, if you had an organization called Palestinian, okay,
Islamic.
okay, Jihad.
Okay.
You go, what is this all about?
A big clue.
It's a weight loss program.
Well, I happen to have U.S. District Court, Middle District of Florida, government exhibit number 400, case number 8:03 CR 77T30 TBM, United States versus Sami Sami Amin Amin Al-Arian Arian et al. And they submitted as evidence in this federal case against Sami al-Arian the bylaws of the Islamic Jihad in Palestine.
Yeah.
So if we don't know, now from what I understand, CJ, you're facetiously referring to a CARE or MPAC or Brotherhood advertising campaign entitled My Jihad.
All right.
Right.
What was that all about?
Oh, that was just to convince us that there's no such thing as jihad. The people who blow up buildings and people and cars and everything else, they just misinterpret Islam. What a jihad really is a journey of a spiritual journey of self-discovery and growth and connecting with Allah and all of humanity.
What the hell is this woman talking about?
It has nothing to
I
do.
will not take this any
It
longer.
has absolutely nothing to do with blowing up mosques and churches and bringing down buildings.
Oh, look.
On this woman.
Oh, there we go.
We have on the screen, folks, one of the ads that CJ is talking about, and Imam Abdullah is getting very upset about.
Very upset.
We seem to have a difference of agreement as to what the term jihad means.
Yeah, right.
Because it's very attractive. I guess she's a Muslim woman.
She
So
does not look like Muslim to me.
don't you have to have all of your hair
Yes,
covered?
That's
this
right.
woman is
Well, it
not
could be a
Muslim. This
wig.
woman is kuffar slut, like your co-host.
She's Jewish.
I see, quote, hashtag, my jihad is to not take the simple things in life for granted, close quote.
What's yours?
What's yours?
Well,
What's yours? Text me at.
let's ask Sami al-Arian,
What his
who
jihad?
made
What
his
his
way
jihad
into
is.
What
federal
his
court.
jihad is?
Who made his way into federal court with the bylaws of his Islamic jihad in Palestine.
What is Sammy's jihad?
Sammy's jihad.
Hashtag Sammy at jihad.com. Right?
Well, I'm reading, folks. I'm reading from a federal document submitted against Sami al-Arian, who has surfaced last week in Washington, D.C. with Ahmed Bedier from Florida, our buddy Ahmed. So this stuff is real and present.
Well, he's his spokesperson. He was
Bedier
Sammy's
was his spokesperson during his trial.
I'm reading right now from a 2004 document. We're trying to figure out what this scrabbly, so misunderstood word
Okay,
jihad
you
means.
find the spot that you want, and I'm going to read something from the Declaration Against Extremism
All right,
that
go
has a
ahead.
bearing on this.
Go ahead.
Now, yeah,
At
because
the-
we're talking
at
about the
end here, 'cause
extremism
We're talking
thing.
about the extremism aspect.
We need a 100-hour show to
At
do all
the
this
end
stuff.
of this document, we must respect all forms of religious practice and expression as long as they follow Islam's mandate for coexistence
Okay.
with others and uphold mercy,
That's what that
justice, equality, and human dignity.
No, she doesn't see this. This is what this
We
means.
offer a strong and clear message of the truth about it.
That's what that means.
That's right.
Of the truth about Islam as a, number one, spiritual path to inner peace and happiness.
Oh, wow.
2, guidance for constructive solutions rather than destructive behavior. 3, call to serve all of humanity, not just one group or people. And number 4, celebration of the sanctity of life.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Because when you think Islam, you just think respect
Now,
for
Mark,
life.
who was the
don't
one?
you?
Who's the author of that declaration?
That's a Hutut?
That's Hatut.
Hair
He
Hutut.
was a proud supporter of Sami al-Arian.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Okay. Well,
That's why I wanted to.
okay,
link
so we have,
that.
what do we have so far? 45 minutes, 50 minutes after the hour.
All right.
We have lots more stuff to cover.
Well,
in
we're not
the
going to
show.
cover it because this is too juicy right now.
Well,
See, the
we have
beauty
Meher
is-
Hutut supporting Sami al-Arian. We have Ahmed Bedier supporting Sami al-Arian. We have the University of North Florida professor,
Parvez Ahmed.
Parvez Ahmed supporting Sami al-Arian. We have all the MSA supporting Arian. We have all of CARE supporting Sami al-Arian. We have every major Muslim group in America supporting Sami al-Arian.
Okay, so we got everybody supporting this guy, Sami al-Arian,
Right.
who surfaced again.
Right.
All right, we have that.
He's still in custody.
But we also have a dilemma between the very pretty Muslim girl with the long curly hair
Yep.
and her
Okay.
jihad,
And her
and,
jihad.
and maybe a misunderstanding on everybody else's part, Sami al-Arian and everybody else. But then we have this confusing declaration against extremism, which sounds like Billy Graham wrote it or something.
Right.
Oh,
Why
I
don't
doubt it.
read? Why don't I read the definition of Palestinian Islamic Jihad
all right.
as
mission statement.
as articulated on their bylaws,
Okay.
as introduced in a federal lawsuit against Sami al-Arian, which
Okay.
led to
Not a
his.
federal. It's not a federal lawsuit. It's a criminal trial.
It's a criminal trial,
Yeah,
Right.
it's not a lawsuit.
criminal trial, and resulted in his conviction. So
Which
he
he
was
already
convicted.
Conviction for terrorism,
which he pled
Terrorism.
guilty to.
which he
yeah.
pled guilty to.
Okay, so he disagrees with the pretty girl. And could we split screen Sami al-Arian and the pretty girl? 'Cause they're having a
Oh,
battle.
come on, just
on.
read.
Just read.
It's in a 1-hour show.
It's a 1-hour show.
They're having. I picture in your mind's eye the pretty girl we just had up on the screen,
Okay.
and Sami al-Arian, and their disagreement over the word jihad. The definition of Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and I'm reading from the bylaws. The Islamic Jihad movement in Palestine is a revolutionary jihad movement embracing Islam as a religion and state.
Right.
It is the vanguard of the Islamic revolutionary movement. It is led by the Secretary General of the movement, Dr. Fatih Shaki, on the basis of consultation with special organs. It is a revolutionary jihad movement. Then the characteristics go down to, and they got a whole bunch of them. We don't have time to read all of them. Jihad. Jihad is the solution to liberate Palestine and topple the infidel regimes.
Right.
Okay.
That would be us.
That would be us.
Now, the guy on the right on your screen says jihad is the solution to liberate Palestine. Would the women agree with that on the left?
And the infidel regimes.
And to topple the infidel regimes. Think she'd buy into that? The little lady on the left? No. So we have a little disagreement over.
Between this guy.
We have a disagreement over
And this
the
girl.
jihad. So let's go to Sami himself.
We can do that.
Let's play a couple of short videos of Sami al-Arian. First one is going to be about. Let's play the one. You got them both queued up.
Yeah, whichever you want.
Let's play the short one where
the minute 21 or the 12-second one.
The 12-second one where he's now. I have to read it,
Yeah.
and then we'll have. I'll read it for the audience.
Okay.
Then Abdullah, if you wouldn't mind reading it also,
There's nothing more I would like to do.
because it's in Arabic. He's speaking in Arabic.
Oh, okay.
And we had to translate. This is coming from Steve Emerson's investigative project on terrorism. What Sami is now going to say is the Quran is our constitution. The jihad is our path. Now, whose motto is this?
The Muslim Brotherhood.
It's starting off like the Muslim. It changes.
Starting off,
Yeah.
the Quran is our constitution, jihad is our way, victory to Islam, and death to Israel.
And death Israel.
So Sami al-Arian,
Revolution.
till the victory.
Till the victory.
So Sami gave a speech where he called for the death of Israel. Okay, let's hear it in Arabic.
Okay. Say it one more time, Tom, just because.
He's going to read it. You have the script there? I think the words come up. Get
Okay, all right.
Abdullah.
Oh, I love that. Would you like the translation now?
Yes, go ahead. Give us a translation to what he just
Play
said.
again. The Quran is our constitution. Jihad is our path. Victory to Islam. Death to Israel. Revolution till the victory.
Okay.
Takbir.
Okay.
Death to Israel.
And Sami al-Arian, former
I
professor
think
for
that's
the
what that girl meant by jihad.
I think we need to try harder to coexist with this moderate, don't you?
former professor from the University of South Florida, now strolling the halls of Congress.
Lobbying for what?
He didn't participate in lobbying yet. He was with Bedier. But let's watch the next video where he gets a little more involved in a few different things.
Okay, we can do that.
This time he doesn't call for the death of Israel.
Okay.
He just kind of
Oh, brothers and sisters, have we forgotten who they are, the Jews? God, the glorious and sublime, warns us of the Israelites whom he has cursed in the Quran. Those of the children of Israel who disbelieved were cursed by David and Jesus, son of Mary, that on account of their disobedience and their aggression, they used not to forbid one another from committing any of evils. Evil is what they did. These people whom God, the glorious and sublime, had made into monkeys and pigs, had become discontent and angry with. Monkeys and pigs, you pigs. Cursed in this world and in the hereafter, and had imposed a punishment on them. World until judgment day. These people today hold away over us, our people, our nation, our future. We want to negotiate with them, to have a dialogue with them. As if we have forgotten who the Jews are because we have distanced ourselves. Their Quran, the history and heritage. We do not understand our reality.
That's Allah Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Is a lot of- This was back in the 90s when Sami was unfettered, running
Yeah.
around leading Palestinian Islamic Jihad.
And you notice how he wasn't speaking that in English, and he's very fluent in English.
Yes,
He was a computer,
Yep.
taught computers, intelligent man.
And we have a connection of Sami al-Arian to Bassam al-Ahabi at the Islamic Center of Boca Raton,
Where you go mosquing a
we
few
went
weeks
to.
ago.
Yeah. Now, but the question for us today is the definitive statement on extremism has been delivered at 9:30 a.m. Pacific
Well, I got a
Pacific
question.
time. Hang on. Pacific time, which has ended all extremism. How would those who presented this declaration, who are strong Sami al-Arian supporters to today, reconcile Sami's views and their declaration, CJ?
Oh, they solved that in they solved that in here.
Right there.
No, she's got something. We're working.
Islam confirms and upholds the teachings of Abraham, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, and all of the other Abrahamic prophets.
Yeah.
Ibrahimic.
I'm reading it the way it's written. In Islam, no one has the right to claim they represent God or hold the absolute interpretation of his word or intent.
That is Muhammad's job.
Tom, you were talking earlier about how if people were to dress in garb, we'd be identified as terrorists and stuff like that. You know, suspect that this guy here would be dressed like this with that type of mustache on. What would you? And this is not a doctored photo. This is the actual photo. What would you suspect about this guy who is dressed like this in a face with a Hitler mustache?
Well, yeah, he's trying to look like Hitler, obviously.
Oh,
Groucho
God.
Marx, no?
To me, I'm thinking, I was thinking Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie
as soon as I
Chaplin,
saw
yeah.
him. Yeah.
Well, would you believe that this is Sayyid Qutb, the ideological founder of the Muslim Brotherhood?
I certainly would.
So
Now-
you're saying Hitler got the mustache from Qutb?
No, he actually he followed Hitler's ideology so much he loved it. He grew the Hitlerian mustache. The founder of the Muslim Brotherhood, who taught Maher Hattout, who founded MPAC.
And the issue for today, folks, we are sketching out a very serious national security problem for our audience, our viewers, our listeners, and it occurred today at 9:30 a.m. in Los Angeles. Oh, we can make up new words.
Friggatriskaidekaphobia our butts off now.
Friggatriskaidekaphobia. We're sketching out for you the behind the scenes, what occurs behind the scenes. We're bringing it out to the forefront, and we're analyzing it, and we're defining it and putting it into context. And we have two dynamics that are occurring right now in the United States of America. Last week,
One is a tidal wave, one is a typhoon.
and one is, on both coasts. And so let's get to the middle of the country. One occurred in Washington, D.C. last week. And we're gonna continue this on Monday because it's so important. Ahmed Bedier, Muslim Brotherhood operative who was helping overthrow Mubarak. His brother was killed a few months ago, actually, in the efforts to reinstore Morsi.
Yeah.
That what we have is an organization has been formed by Ahmed Bedier to lobby Congress on essentially getting President Morsi reinstituted in Egypt. That's going on, and we know Morsi
Is that the same Ahmed Bedier that's trying to prevent American laws for American courts from being
Yes,
successful
same
in the
one.
state of Florida?
Well, not only the
Yes,
state of
because
Florida.
it's not necessary.
Not only the state of Florida.
Same guy.
He's operating all over the place.
The spokesperson.
So this is
spokesperson for Sami al-Arian.
This is called an expose. We're exposing and connecting the dots for you. So we have this operative, Ahmed Bedier.
Ahmed Bedier.
Ahmed Bedier. He lined up last week with Sami al-Arian, who was under house arrest.
Once
But
again.
about 2 months ago, the judge loosened the restrictions on the travel
That's
for
a
Sami al-Arian.
long leash.
And he's in a very bizarre netherland of law right now. The state is not moving forward, and he does not want to move forward. If he goes to trial, Sami al-Arian, on terrorist charges and is convicted, he goes to jail for a very long time.
Right.
If he is acquitted because of the deal he cut on other charges, he is deported. So it's a lose-lose for Sami al-Arian.
Well, he should be definitely talking on Capitol Hill then.
Ahmed Bedier is there. Sami went with him to show support to Muslims worldwide because he's a worldwide figure.
Ummah.
Simultaneously, we have today on the west coast of Florida a declaration against extremism. If you want to see this, contact us, Tom, at TrentoVision.tv or at theunitedwest.org. We'll send you a copy of it, the Declaration on Extremism.
It's only
which is
3 pages.
Which
so
is
it's
LOL, laugh out loud, basically.
Yes,
There's
it is.
several reasons why this is a joke. And because a couple of Muslim operatives, how much time do we have?
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
We're ending over there on 59.
yeah.
Okay. In any event, stick with us. We'll make sense out of all of this Islamic.
And maybe we will, and maybe we won't.
That's true. Islamic Brotherhood nonsense. Why? Why do we do this? So you can live a nice, safe, and luxurious and carefree life and don't have to worry about it. See you on Monday.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful weekend.